Welcome back to the 2018 IPF Classic Powerlifting Championships in Calgary, Canada. And you're in the commentary box for the 93 kilogram junior men, and I'm joined by one of the US national coaches, Joe Stanek. Welcome to the commentary box. Tell us quickly a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, as was just stated, I'm one of the team coaches for USA Powerlifting, as well as a private strength coach by day.
Fantastic. So Joe brings a lot of knowledge to the table today. And we've been talking up the US coaches all week and their lift selections and how spot on the money they've been. So today you'll be able to talk us through some of those selections as well.
Absolutely. Let's see.
Our first lifter, Dylan Lopez from Brazil, looking for 200 kilos to open his squat campaign.
So we got his nomination at 210, so definitely seems like he made some progress. I've been doing as much scouting as I could on this class.
Yeah, the US coaches are known for their scouting.
Honestly, it's not as complicated as you might think. Just a little bit of browsing through Instagram.
And 2 white lights and he gets it on the board. Yutetsu Ito from Japan is next, 210 kilograms. At 93 kilos, that's a fairly heavily contested weight class, particularly in the opens.
Usually, yeah. I expect the opens to be extremely contested, although that's not to knock off any of these juniors. Several of them are extremely competitive.
We've seen some amazing lifts today in the juniors and the sub-juniors. It's been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it's amazing to me to really see how bright the future of the sport is. Several of these individuals will no doubt be extremely competitive when they move up to the open class.
Yeah, look, if you're in the opens now, you're certainly going to be watching the juniors thinking, well, this is my competition the next couple of years.
Yeah, honestly, a few of these lifters probably could be in the opens if they wanted to, particularly the Swedish lifter. He's opening up at 285 kilo.
The Japanese lifter just getting a re-rack there. His knees were locked out.
Nominated at 230. His opener at 210 seems like it's no problem, as you would expect.
Yeah, I guess the 2 white lights. Japanese lifters, they're another group we've been watching really closely this week as well. Yeah, they're just so clinical with their technique.
Especially in the bench press. Always fun to watch every
It's always good, isn't it? James Frecklington from Australia, 210 kilograms.
Bars loaded on 2.
He's nominated at 230 as well.
So 210 should be a pretty cruisy opener. His coach today, Sean Muir, the president of the APU.
Brand new affiliate down there.
Yeah, just started.
They've brought a ton of great lifters. Awesome.
Yeah, they've had some world records, some medals already.
Yeah. Wow, makes easy work of that.
That's a great start to a federation though, isn't it? Your first worlds, taking around gold medals and records.
Absolutely.
Kang Kwan Tan, Singapore, looking for 215.
I'm gonna let you take care of the names because I will probably butcher a few of them.
I cannot guarantee that I'm getting them right.
You've got a little more experience with this.
But I haven't had anyone come and correct me yet, so far so good. But the competition's still young.
Yeah, very true. I always like to default to Gino on that because he just doesn't care. So.
Kang Kwan Tan, Singapore, and they've put a pretty big team in this year, which is really good to see.
They have, yeah, they've definitely put a huge team together. I know that this particular lifter, I believe he's squatted quite a bit more than this in training. I've seen a couple of singles well above his nominated 232 squat. I've seen a couple of 242 on his Instagram, so hopefully he'll be exceeding his nominated squat.
He made short work of 215, that's for sure.
We're seeing a lot of reds from the one side, Judge. Do you feel that's
Yeah, I mean the last few lifts in a row, all red on the one side there, so.
And that does happen sometimes with some lifters. Perhaps one hip is a little bit more mobile than the other. Perhaps they maybe stand a little bit too wide, sit into one leg.
I mean, so far the referee's been really consistent.
Absolutely.
You know, as I was saying earlier in the week too, I mean, the athletes come off the platform, they talk to each other, so they know what the referees are looking out for.
All right, now the lifter from Great Britain.
Adedapo
again, not going to.
Adjwali from Great Britain.
Sounds like it
That's
should
a
be
mouthful,
right.
that one.
Yeah. just assisting the British team earlier, being a traitor for my country, but just helping them out a little bit. They run a tight shift, and as expected, the opener is easy work for them.
Yeah, you put that one away. I think that's one of the greatest things about powerlifting, how it doesn't matter what country you're from, everyone just helps everyone and supports everyone.
Yeah, well, in my case, like I mentioned before, as I work as an online coach, I have a couple of lifters from that country, so I was just helping them out.
Sami Lehtinen from Finland wants 235 to open.
These are really big openers for juniors.
Here's some monster lifts for junior athletes. Some of these kids are still teenagers.
Although he definitely doesn't look like he is a teenager. That is a better beard than I will ever hope to grow.
It's a Finnish tradition to start growing a beard at the age of 10.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And he has an awesome singlet too.
Yeah, the Titan graphics on those Finnish singlets are fantastic, aren't they? And he hits the 3 white lights.
Another Finnish lifter following his teammate.
Janne Mattila from Finland, 240. And remember, we've got 2 platforms going on one, so if you can hear shouting in the background,
yeah,
it looks like the US athlete has massive support on the other platform.
That'll be Michael Davis over there. His family is quite loud.
Well, they're so loud, it's hard to hear on this side, but fantastic to see. Mattila from Finland, 240. These are some huge opening lifts. Hedlund from Sweden is going to open at 285.
The Finnish lifter is nominated at 252. I have seen, again through my scouting, a couple of 260 squats out of him, so we'll see what he goes for.
As a national coach, I mean, you guys must love the fact that Instagram and Facebook is out there now.
It's fun, although I've gone on other forms of social media too. I'll look for as much as I can find. I mean, even if they have a Snapchat, I might go so far as to actually re-download that app and look and see if they have some footage on there.
Ali Hamden from Norway wants 240.
Really nice tight grip in the upper back.
Super tight. He's got some monster legs on him.
Yeah.
He clearly hasn't skipped leg day.
I don't think his coach would let him.
Yaroslav Nemec from Czechia, 240 kilograms.
We're seeing a lot of 240s in this class. That's a lot of weight.
These are big opening lifts.
Dressed from head to toe in SBD.
Another one of the great sponsors for these IPF events and the IPF.
Takes that nice and deep. Wow.
Very deep. Probably a little tougher for an opening lift than what you'd want.
Yeah. It may have just been that he got nervous and decided to take it a little bit deeper. Perhaps he squats that way normally.
Yeah, first squat nerves always take their toll a bit. You know, you deal with that as a coach with the athletes in their first squat.
That's why it's always important to select a really easy opener for everybody. When you're planning out attempts, usually I like to think about somewhere about between 90 and 92% of the planned third. Usually make even jumps from there, and that's usually what you end up seeing from most of the countries out here.
Jacob McKinnon from New Zealand wants 242.5.
Again, another great beard.
Seems to be a tradition of the 93s.
Yeah, maybe
it's a lift helper.
Maybe that's what I'm missing right now. Maybe that's what we're all missing.
It's that extra bit of facial hair. Makes the lift a little bit easier.
A little bit more of a fight than you might want from the opener, but smooth.
He's on the board with 242.5. And Jun Furukawa from Japan wants 270. It's a monster of a lift.
Honestly, we may see some squats north of 300 kilos, which a few years ago was the open world record squat in this weight class. It's amazing.
The sport has progressed so much in the last few years. He's sporting the Titan gear, which is another great sponsor, Titan Support Systems.
I like how this lifter takes his time. Despite this being a world championships, he's not nervous. He's just going through his process. It's something I always tell a lot of my lifters. I just tell them it's another day in the gym. Take your time, get set up, do everything exactly as you would in training.
Yeah, I think that's one of the keys, is to do everything exactly like you would on any other day.
Unless, of course, you don't squat to depth or something like that. Then obviously you need to change that.
And he clearly squats for depth and gets 3 white lights.
It always impresses me when lifters have super wide stances and can always get down to depth.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder with a super wide stance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very hard to do, but if you can get that wide base of support and still have the mobility to get down to depth, it can be a very powerful tool.
Gustav Hedlund opening at 285 kilos, and I imagine we will see him go north of 300.
I would imagine so as well. I'm not sure what the current junior world record in the squat is.
And interestingly, he has 1 rack in and 1 rack out. Any particular reason for that, or?
Usually it's to give the lifter a little bit more time in between attempts, just to get ready. By putting 1 in, it forces the spotting and loading crew to take the time to actually put that in. It's a little bit more work than you might want.
Yeah, you want an opening lift to be a little bit easier than that. There's a fair bit of work there.
Yeah.
We'll see where he goes from there.
Although I have seen, perhaps just in my observations, but in the Swedish lifters, they tend to take a little bit heavier openers.
We'll come around for our second attempt with Dylan Lopez from Brazil, looking at 212.5 kilograms. And as a coach out the back, warming up, are you looking at other teams as well and watching the other athletes warm up just to have a look at the competition, or are you just solely focused on your athlete?
Honestly, I'm focused on my athlete. I'm sure, as you know, there's always a ton of lifters in the back, and you just want to make sure that you get your lifters warm-ups in, make sure they have ample time and are prepared to hit the platform. What I am paying attention to, though, is always the scorecard. Making sure, keeping track of who's on what, especially once the deadlifts hit the platform. That's when we're all jockeying for position.
And that's an important thing for a coach. And if you're new to coaching out there and you're watching this, we sit out here in the commentary box and we watch that scoreboard, but you guys out the back are watching with an eagle eye as well. If you need to change an attempt or move things up a little bit. And he gets 3 red lights, the only lifter to
that looked like
get a red light so far.
Yeah, a little hard for him. Perhaps it was just a little bit too big of a jump. Something that I also, and this isn't a hard and fast rule, but I like to keep it to, if I can, around 5% jumps. Usually a little bit more than that tends to be a bit of a shock to the athlete.
Yeah, I mean, the neuro system's not quite prepared for the big jumps. So we've got James Beckington from Australia looking at 220. A 10 kilo jump, and that's a pretty standard sort of jump.
Yeah, absolutely.
In this sort of weight class. He's had to work pretty hard for a second lift there. 10 kilo jump might be a bit much for his third.
Yeah, I would say no more than 5 personally, but I'm not his coach.
Kang Kwan Tan from Singapore, 225.
All right, so this should be about 7.5 kilos under his nominated squat.
So he should have to put in a little bit of work for this one.
Yeah. Honestly, based on his first, I'm a little bit shocked. I thought it would have been a little bit more, but it's okay. 10 kilos is definitely a standard jump. It's a nice safe jump.
Playing the long game, making sure there's energy in the tank for bench and deadlift as well.
He does have a nice high bench press. Entered for his opener, so maybe he's just saving the kilos. that look a little high to you?
It was a little easy, and it did look a little high, but also the referee saying it was high.
2-1 on that one.
Just pulled up a little bit shy on that one. Yutetsu Ito from Japan looking at 230 kilograms. So everyone got their opening squat, but they're not off to a great start on their seconds.
Yeah, a lot of technical stuff. Usually when I have a lifter miss on the technicality, I'll take the time to, make sure they understand why and just tell them to make that correction. I mean, these are elite level athletes. There's no reason that they should be scared. Just go down and if they miss on depth, just go a little bit deeper, correct whatever was incorrect, and I'm sure they'll get it on their third.
Japanese lifter.
Takes that one.
Only a depth, but boy, he got a bit offline in the middle there, didn't he?
Yeah, shakes his head at that one, but still a good lift.
He gets a good lift, but he knows, pretty sure he knows what he did wrong there.
Yeah.
And a good lifter will know where he went wrong, and the coach will pretty much just confirm that.
Absolutely.
Sami Lehtonen from Finland wants 237.5. So opened at 235, and we said it was a bit hard for an opening lift.
It was
so he's
quite
just
hard.
taken a little 2.5 kilo jump.
That's pretty unusual to see, but clearly it was kind of hard for an opening lift. So
Might need to add a bit more length to his beard.
yeah, perhaps. And maybe some more lightning, or is that fire on his singlet? I'm not sure.
Ice fire, I think. I'm going with ice fire.
Okay, so he gets to replace. His knees, head referees signaling that his knees are not locked.
And I have to say, the referees have been absolutely fantastic over this week in communicating this with the athletes as well.
It's definitely worked, but
He puts the
it's
3
3
light
lights.
lights.
And they're going absolutely nuts for the lifters on the other platform.
The USA lifter is obviously back out on platform 1. Because they are going crazy out there. Ojawali from Great Britain is our next lifter, looking at 240 kilograms.
Nice 10-kilo jump for him. He comes out hyped for this one. His first was a little bit of work, but this should be good. Nice strong walkout.
Quite a tall lifter.
And a high bar squatter to boot. Very nice.
Very, very clinical.
Pretty much
Head
the
up,
same
chest
speed.
up, bar path was absolutely spot on the money.
Wonder where he will go on his third.
Martilla from Finland wants 247.5.
7.5 kilo increase for him. This is about 5 kilos short of his nominated squat.
All right. Yanni Martila and Zachariah Mufat. Martila. Bars loaded on 1, bars loaded on 2. 320 kilos
Opened at 240, 7.5 kilo increase. It's a fairly reasonable increase.
Reasonable, yeah. Actually,
47.5 for the finish lifter.
well, we'll see. We'll see how he handles it. Yeah. I was gonna say, based on his first, I actually think that might have been a little bit too much.
Probably happy he didn't add 10 kilos at this point.
Yeah, yeah. We got 250 for the lifter from
Ali Hamden from Norway. And Headland has nominated a 300 for his second lift.
Yeah, we got a lot of big squats coming up in this class. It's just exciting lifting. Ali comes out absolutely fired up. You can see him sneering at the bar as he gets under it.
He is trying to scare it into submission.
I always find, and I'm not sure if you have observed the same thing looking at open lifters compared to junior lifters, but the one thing that really does set them apart is a lot of open lifters, they seem to be very...
Oh, he's going to get himself in a little bit of trouble there from deserting the bar. The jury is walking up. As much as lifter safety is important, so is our safety of our spotters.
Absolutely, it's important to stay with the bar.
Stepping after that bar puts them at a lot of risk. Jaroslav Nemec from Czechia is looking at 250. And Norway just received an official warning from deserting the bar.
They get another warning, it's possible ejection from the competition. The lifter must stay under the bar and have the spotters and leaders walking back.
Yeah, 250 kilo falling bar puts the guys at a lot of risk out there.
It's a little bit of extra rest time from that unfortunate mishap. 10 kilo increase after his opener.
Jaroslav from Czechia is probably quite happy there was a bit of a mishap. He's got a little bit of extra time now.
Yeah. He's nominated. He's nominated at 275. I have to wonder if maybe he's nominated in a quick squat, perhaps.
Yeah, that's a big number. He's hitting 250 now, and going by his first lift, 275 seems like a stretch.
Yeah. I know that sometimes that coaches will put in nominations that are a little bit higher than what a lifter can actually do to sort of scare the competition into.
Well, you want to get the competition on the back foot. And McKinnon from New Zealand, 255.
If you look at this lifter, you'll see he's got some wooden lifting shoes. That's not something you see much anymore.
We don't see that very often at all anymore.
Sometimes you'll actually get people valuing those and thinking that they're a little bit better just because of the hardness of the wood.
He's
Really a fight with the weight. So he's getting ready to absolutely blow that weight through the ceiling. Hopefully it'll work that way. I recall his opener being a little bit tougher than he might have liked. Good strong walkout. Nice two-step walkout.
He's putting some work in for that. He gets it up there. Let's see what the referee say about the depth.
Yeah,
and he was deep enough, 3 white lights.
I don't know if there's much more there.
There's not much wiggle room for a third lift there, is there?
Yeah, in this case, I actually might go so far as to say let's maybe scratch a third, because there's a good chance 2.5 might be too much.
Room if you're going to grind out the whole time for a failed lift. It's a big waste of energy.
Yeah, better to just save it for the deadlift.
Yun Furukawa from Japan was 280 kilograms.
Absolutely massive squat.
These are just huge numbers.
You hear the Japanese team behind us being very vocal for their lifter.
Taking his time, he has plenty of time to get ready.
Oh, he's rocking the rack. Furukawa is rocking the rack.
So lifters have a minute to get the squat command from the head judge. Definitely taking that whole minute to get himself nice and set. Nice strong walkout.
Bars loaded for trick.
He's a little higher on that one than he was on his first lift, but let's wait and see.
2 whites, it's a good lift.
2 white lights, just the 1 red on deck, so he's fine. Gustav Hedlund from Sweden.
Judging by the third attempts that have been put in so far, that should secure him the silver medal in the squat.
300 kilograms for his second lift.
See the spotters putting in that arm again. Another reason, by the way, why you might see a lifter submit that is that it'll put a little bit of flex in the bar before they get under it. Usually, though, you'll see them put both of the racks in when that's the case.
300 kilograms for a second lift. This is absolutely monstrous.
His opener was smooth. Let's see how he handles this. Oh, and it's work.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
But it should be a good
He
lift.
gets the lift up, and he gets 2 white lights, which is enough, but he hasn't really given himself any room for a third.
So we'll see. The Japanese lifters put in 290. I don't know if I would go with that personally. A little bit tough.
Yeah, his second, there's a lot of work at his second lift. 290 is a big jump. Dylan Lopez from Brazil wanting 215.
Colin Crozier gets the right there with 262.5. And Colin gets 3 white lights to lift his good. Quick is in the house.
Let's see where he ends.
541. Robbie Small says the bar's loaded.
There we go. Here he comes. Now he missed this on his second. Oh, actually, no, he's gone up 2.5 kilos. All right, now that's something, not to knock the British coaching, but that's not something that I would normally do. If a lifter misses, I generally say let's just repeat the weight.
Yeah, it's always an interesting decision. I mean, you do occasionally see coaches and athletes, if they miss on a technicality, they will put the weight up. And this time it looks like it may have paid off.
Yeah, that actually looked a little bit deeper.
But
no,
still not deep enough.
Just a bit high. So he'll end with only his opener of 200. Perhaps just a little bit too much for him today.
And the Norwegian athlete has actually scratched his third lift.
Yeah. Must hopefully he didn't get hurt on that last one.
Bars loaded on 2 for the next lifter at Dylan.
We've got the lifter from Singapore now.
Tan from Singapore looking at 225. He missed this on his second attempt.
Now that trip over from Singapore definitely seems to have affected him because his training has definitely gone better than that.
Looks like he's got it this time.
Depth seemed good.
Yes, he's got the 2 white lights. Yeah, I mean, as a coach and as athletes, they also, as you know, need to remember that these long trips, you know, we've got the jet lag, a change in diet, you know, a lot of changes. For it really takes its time on the athlete as well.
Absolutely. If I can help it, and if my athletes can help it, I always try to advise them to get there a little bit earlier, just so you can get used to the time, perhaps get a last training session in here, so you can sort of feel everything out, see how your joints are feeling from sitting on a plane, make any adjustments that you need to.
James Frecklington from Australia, 232.5 kilograms.
He's a rather tall 93 kilo lifter.
He is a very, very tall lifter, isn't he?
Ooh, did he cut that?
Might have cut that a little shy, and he had a bit of a bar dip before he.
Yeah, that's gonna
Yeah,
be
he's got the 3 red lights.
It's unfortunate.
He just dipped before he got the rack call.
It's funny. I don't see that happen often. But when I do, usually what I hear is that I started to black out on that last one. I mean, these lifters, the amount of pressure that they
Oh, it's a huge amount of intra-abdominal pressure and internal pressure. Yutetsu Ito from Japan wants 240.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we got the bar loader just waiting on our lifter here.
Gentlemen from the USA by the name of Michael Davis.
So if successful, this will be a 10 kilo PR for him.
That's a big PR.
It's a huge PR. It's great progress. His second lift was a little tough. Ooh, and a really tough walkout as well.
His walkout wasn't confident, was it?
No. Ooh.
And he's not going to get this one.
Fortunate. Still be credited with the second attempt at 200 and what was that, 30 kilo? Yes, 230 kilo.
Sami Lehtonen from Finland was 245.
So this is our friend who jumped 2.5 kilo. The crowd is roaring.
It is a huge crowd. The 245 for Sami Lehtonen.
This is quite unusual, seeing a 2.5 kilo jump and then 7.5 kilos. See, this is something as a coach I would almost never do. Making uneven jumps like that, you're playing with fire. Taking a bigger jump, going close to 100%, it's not the way you want to go. Oh, but he's making me look like a fool.
He had to work for it, but he got it up there.
Good on you.
Always love it when we say something sounds really good and they make fools of us.
Yep, just absolutely proven me wrong. And there are definitely exceptions to these rules.
Absolutely. Yeah, but as a coach, I mean, you have your formula that you stick to that works, and you know it works, and we've seen it all week that works. Wiley from Great Britain looking for 247 and a half.
This should be the right call based upon his second.
He is fired up for this one.
Just absolutely grabbing that bar like his life depends on it. Getting nice and tight. You'll see lifters with a high bar stance typically get a little bit closer of a grip because it doesn't require as much shoulder mobility.
You tend not to see that many high bar lifters in this weight class.
In general, to be honest. Oh, and making easy work of it. Nods at the head judge saying, yeah, I got it.
And they agree. Gets the 3 white lights.
He's hyped.
Jani Mattila from Finland was 250.
This will be slightly short of his nominated squat. Based upon how his second went 2.5 was probably the right move.
Yeah, you can put your nominated squats in, and I mean you could be hitting more than this every day of the week, but you know, the travel, the changes, the jet lag, you know, you need to account for that as a coach. You need to account for that as an athlete as well.
It's very interesting to me looking at the nominated squats. It seems like a ton of the lifters put in huge numbers compared to what they're actually hitting. Makes me wonder what I'm not sure what the point in that is. I can understand perhaps bluffing a little bit, but you know, when everybody gets here, you realize, oh, they're not hitting that.
Yeah, the bluff doesn't work for too long.
Boy,
he's having to fight for this. He gets it up there though.
Good.
And there it is.
Excellent call.
Jaroslav Nemec from Czechia, 257.5. $257.5.
He is absolutely hyped out of his mind for this lift. This does seem like it would be a nice PR for him.
He's gone super deep. And a little bit too deep, I think.
Yeah, I think sometimes lifters, when I was commentating the 66s yesterday, there were quite a few lifters that seemed to just bury their lifts compared to, you know, what I had seen in their training footage, and I think perhaps that just might have something to do with, you know, them getting too nervous or just wanting to make sure that they get the lifts.
Yeah, they want to make sure they put it in. They get a bit nervous and they're a bit concerned. And athletes talk about, you know, oh, the referees are tough on depth. And, you know, so sometimes they just sink it a bit further. And they add that extra, problem is they add that extra couple of inches to the lift.
All right, we've got our lifter from New Zealand now, taking a 5 kilo increase compared to his second.
McKinnon from New Zealand, 260.
As I recall, we talked about maybe taking a little bit lower of a jump, or perhaps even scratching his last lift. But we'll see what happens here. Yeah, no. At least he didn't try to grind that. Sometimes.
Yeah, look, he knew it wasn't going to come up. Why waste precious energy on a grinder that you know is not going to come up? You save it for the bench, you save it for the deadlift.
All right, the Japanese lifter is taking a 10 kilo increase. Again, we'll see if that pays off for him. I know his second attempt was work.
Jun Furukawa from Japan with a massive 290 kilograms.
Something that everybody definitely should take note of out there. He is very set in his process. He doesn't let emotion get to him. He does the same thing every time. He takes his time getting set up, and that's the mark of a powerlifter. Just doing exactly what you do in the gym, getting ready for every lift the same.
Just taking his time, getting everything how he wants it.
He is just attacking that weight like crazy. Got about 20 seconds to get the squat command, no problem.
Yes, the squat. Just a little bit too much for him.
Yeah. Still walking away as our silver medalist in the squat, though.
Gustav Hedlund from Sweden wants 302.5 kilograms, 660 pounds.
Where's Gino? He's probably
With
gonna
a
be
300
excited.
plus squat, he can't be too far away.
Gino's favorite number.
666.
The number of the beast, as they say.
The number of the beast.
And you probably can't hear at home, but we can hear Gino in the background, the MC for this World Championship event, talking about 666 as a 666.9 pounds.
Something that often happens at our nationals, because Gino typically DJs as well. He'll actually put on the song, The Number of the Beast, so that the lifter can come out and lift to that song.
Wait. You gotta wait till the clock runs out and then light up the lights. IPFO, you cannot stop the clock. The clock must run for another 30 seconds. And then you must light up all 3 lights.
Does not seem like our lifter is
Looks
coming
like he's
out.
not coming out. Looks like Hedlund has decided not to come out, but he's left his nominated squat up there to let the clock run for that minute, so the other lifters get that extra minute's rest. Although he's the last lifter, so it really doesn't matter. So we'll have a 20-minute break here, and these big men are going to be coming back out to battle it out in the bench press.
We'll see you back here.
Welcome back to the bench press session of tonight's session of the 93 kilo junior man. Welcome back to Joe Static as well from the US team. And these guys from the US have been doing an absolutely amazing job this week. Their lift predictions have been bang on the money. They've been handling their athletes like true professionals, as you would expect from the US team.
Absolutely.
And we'll be hitting off the bench press in about 5 seconds with Jacob McKinnon from New Zealand. 135 kilos. Big shout out to our sponsors this year's championships, Eleiko and SBD, who have stood behind for so long. And they're not just great sponsors, they really are great quality products.
Absolutely, absolutely. They, I'll tell you what, there's nothing like benching on one of those Eleiko benches. I'm a little bit jealous of these athletes.
Yeah, it does make a big difference, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Jacob McKinnon looking for 135 to open his bench press campaign.
So look to see lots of lifters set their arches nice and high. Ooh, slow to set on that one. And a nice smooth.
Very good opening lift. Probably a very good choice of numbers there.
So he's opening on 135. In my scouting, I've seen a couple of lifts from him a little bit north of that, around 140, 142. So hopefully he'll be able to match that here on the platform.
Dylan Lopez from Brazil, 137.5. Yeah, I think we're going to see some big lifts today.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Top nominated entry right now is the Swedish lifter with 190.
190 kilos. That's a solid raw lift.
Yeah, absolutely. And his nominated bench press is actually 200. So.
And we know about the nominations. We can pretty much throw them out the door these days.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. The Swedes lifter seems to. The Swedes seems to be at least accurate.
Pretty much spot on the money.
Pretty close. Looks like a little bit of work from the Brazilian.
Yeah, a little bit unsteady there on the descent, but managed to gather it again. So.
He's a little bit taller. It's possible he could have had a rough cut. Usually I find with most lifters that the lift that is affected the most is the bench press.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's your smallest muscle groups doing the work. So if you are having to cut for a comp, your bench is the one that's going to cop it the most. James Fecklington from Australia, 137.5. Now, he is a tall lifter.
Absolutely.
So I imagine bench probably isn't his favorite lift.
No, but he probably, I mean, just judging by his opener on deadlift, it seems like that's his forte, where he makes up his kilos.
Yeah, those long levers are certainly built for deadlift.
I can appreciate that. I am definitely that kind of a lifter.
137.5, he handles without any problems though. Yutetsu Ito from Japan, 140 kilograms. So we get to watch the Japanese bench, and we know Japanese lifters are synonymous for their bench press.
Absolute technicians.
It's a massive sport over in Japan.
Yeah. It's Kodama, the master over there, and it just seems to have sprung around all the countrymen. So you can look for a couple of very distinct things that Japanese lifters do. One that they tend to do is rotate their wrist internally slightly. This allows them to keep their wrists over their elbows a little bit better, especially with a wider grip.
Gets the 2 white lights, and that's enough. Just gets 1 red there.
A little bit shaky for him. We'll see where he goes on his second.
Jun Furukawa from Japan, our next Japanese lifter, so we'll have a look at him as well at 140.
This is our Mr. Technician who loves to get set up. Seems as if he has a similar style with that slightly internally rotated grip.
187.5.
That'll be a little slower than you'd want for an opening lift.
A little bit of work. So something that a lot of lifters will get used to in training, if they, particularly if they practice with a lot of light load, is they'll get used to bench pressing up and down a lot. And that's really not how a powerlifting bench press grooves if you're doing it correctly. It looks usually a little bit more like a J shape, especially if you have a longer range of motion.
Yeah, it's always hard to explain that when you get new lifters to PowerPoint. They've been in the gym for a long time, you know, pressing straight up and down on the bench press with a flat back. And it's very difficult to sort of get the concept that the movement of the bar, you know, the J shape and pushing it backwards a little bit. Ojawali from Great Britain looking for 140 kilograms.
So based on his opening deadlift and the length of his arms, I don't think this is his favorite lift either. Oh, but wow, makes it look easy.
Smoked that, didn't he?
Yeah, making a statement there, saying he is here to play, here to get some big numbers. Wow, that was his nominated bench press, so he's clearly made some progress.
So he's clearly made progress. Quick shout out to some of our other sponsors, because Eleiko and SBD are not our only sponsors. ER Equipment, Titan Support Systems are fantastic makers of powerlifting equipment. A7 bench press shirts.
Really see the Norwegian lifter digging himself in there, getting his heels planted nice and strong so he can drive with his legs.
Get that chest up as high as you can.
A little slow but smooth.
And Ali Hamden from Norway nails a 155. Wani Mattila from Finland, 160 kilograms.
Always looking for Jani Marttila from Finland. Jani Marttila. 160 kilos for the Finnish for round 2.
160.
Really getting up there in the weights. These are juniors opening with
That's
these
a
weights.
big list for juniors.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, gets the replace, likely for his elbows.
His
They looked a little bit
elbows.
soft.
Head referee just going up to the athlete and telling him what it was for.
Right. You see he has a little bit of that internal rotation at the wrist that I'm talking about. Sometimes it can be hard to lock your elbows properly when you do that. Ooh.
Just couldn't quite get there. He's expended a lot of energy having to hold that bar while the referees
Yeah, that's something that
racked him.
a lot of athletes don't really consider, and they oftentimes don't practice enough in training is holding it before they get that start command.
Yeah, I mean, the bar hold's quite an important part. We utilise it in my coaching for bar holds as well. You know, it helps for training for competition day, but also helps for that static strength as well. Khan Kwan Tan from Singapore, 165.
Really gets set up here, getting as big of an arch as he can. Nice wide base.
Quite a big arch for a big boy.
Yeah.
Puts that one up fast. 3 white lights. Sami Lehtinen from Finland, 167.5. Just one lifter so far to fail his opening lift. Here comes Sami.
Here goes Sami Lehtinen from Finland. Platform 2, 167.5.
Really digging himself in there.
Carlos Diogo, Brazil.
And a self handout. I'm seeing more and more of those at these championships. Do you practice with that personally?
Yeah, look, I generally don't have any athletes that do it, but I actually do it myself. For me, it's the reason I do it is it increases my neural pathways and my confidence in those neural pathways. I lifted out myself. I found in the past with the heavy bench, the lift off can sometimes shock my neural system if I get someone to lift off for me. But it is, yeah, it's quite a difficult thing to master. You've really got to ease yourself in the right position. If you're too far forward, you expel a lot of energy trying to get that bar out of the rack.
So for those of you that might want to be trying that at home, a couple of things that you could do to make it a little bit easier on yourself. Make sure that your rack height is set to the point that you have the lowest amount of horizontal movement when you're getting it out of the rack, and then positioning your head slightly behind the bar makes that a little bit easier because your shoulders are closer to the bar.
And Nemec from Czechia gets his lift cleanly. Gustav Hedlund from Sweden wants 190. Yeah, the downside to doing that self-handoff is it's a lot of energy.
Absolutely.
And if you get it wrong, it is a truck ton of energy.
Yeah. Another advantage to it, though, is that you don't have to rely on somebody that you may not know to give you a lift off.
Yeah, and it can be difficult in these competitions to get a lift off for the first time, someone you've never met before. You speak another language, they speak another language, you're trying to get the lift off worked out, and sometimes that can actually expel more energy getting the lift off in the wrong spot. Smokes 190.
Very good lift. Maybe we will see him go north of 200.
With his predicted totals, he is going to be exceptionally hard to beat. I think something's going to have to go very, very wrong for him.
Yeah, let's see, the second place lifter, currently their prognosis is on 705, and the first place lifter, his prognosis is 805.
Unless something goes terribly wrong for him. Jacob McKinnon from New Zealand, 142.5. We're looking forward to seeing this guy bench again. It's a big jump from 135 to 142.5.
This will equal his current PB. I feel weird saying that. I say PR all the time.
Yeah, I think it really depends on your country, doesn't it? Australia, we often say PB, but everywhere else in Europe seems to be PR.
Yeah. Really puffs his chest out to shorten that range of motion a little bit. Nice soft touch.
It's a good solid lift for a second lift. And a little bit extra work, but not too much.
Just what you would want out of a second attempt.
Dylan Lopez from Brazil, 142.5. So a 5 kilo jump from his opening lift, which is fairly reasonable sort of jump in this weight class.
Absolutely. I remember his opener being a little bit of a struggle, so we'll see.
Yeah, the bench press is one of the lifts you don't want to try and take big jumps on.
Yeah, that's another reason why I'm an advocate of keeping the jumps nice and even. If you're planning on taking too big of a jump, when you're holding that bar there waiting for the start command, it can be tough. And actually makes that look a little bit better than his opener.
I think that was better than his opening lift. It looks like he's got himself a bit steadier on the bench too. James Becklington from Australia, 142.5.
Bars loaded with Becklington on 2. Australia, 142.5 kilos.
Now I noticed in the background Gino announcing, I commentated with him in the last session, he's giving me a hard time with the Australian accent, and now he's pronouncing Australia. They made good work of that. It was a little bit harder than his first, but didn't seem overly difficult.
Yeah, so my question for you there would be, how much do you think he has left?
Look, I think he'd be pushing to put another 5 on there.
Yeah.
He puts another 5 on, it might be enough to break it, but...
So my philosophy in that particular case would be go 2.5.
Yeah,
it seems like that should be there. 5 could be, but it's kind of like you're playing...
Yeah, 5 could be, but if he misses the 5, he drops back down to the weight of his second lift, puts 2.5 on, a lot safer, and he adds 2.5 to his total.
Yeah, that's one of the big things in attempt selection is it's for those of I'm not sure if it shows here in Canada, but for those of us who are American viewers that are watching, we have this game show called The Price is Right, where they try to guess a certain price, but if they go over, they lose. So it's kind of like you're playing that game. You want to get as close as you can to that maximal effort without going over.
And Furukawa hits his 145 with no problems at all. Yeah, I think it's important as athletes and coaches to be thinking of the long game. You know, that extra 2.5 kilos can make all the difference at the other end.
Yeah. A lot of times athletes will tend to get attached to a certain number, and honestly, the only number that really matters at the end of the day is your total.
That's right.
You could have a day where you don't hit any PRs in any of the individual lifts,
It's
but
the total that matters in the end.
yeah, if you could easily PR your total by being consistent.
Yutetsu Ito from Japan, 147.5, and a very clinical lift.
Shaky, but good lift.
Oh, he gets one red light from the side referee there, but 2 whites is enough.
Might be for butt. Usually when you see the yellow card on bench press, that tends to be the more common infraction.
Ojawali from Great Britain, 147.5.
So this will be a huge PR for him already on his second 7.5.
And these spotters and loaders are flying through the loading today. The athletes out the back aren't getting much rest at all.
No, it's honestly, from talking with my work colleague Bryce Lewis, he described last year's World Championships as a little bit of a marathon for him, just no rest at all. So if that's something that you're not used to and you're looking to compete at this level, that's something you might want to consider when it comes to your training. Oh, and whoa!
Wow, he has got a lot more in the tank
Little
there.
smoke.
There's a lot more left in the tank for that young man.
I don't know what his plan is like, but I would be comfortable giving him another 7 on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, the way that 147.5 came up, there's another 7.5 kilos in the tank, or definitely a 5. Jani Mattila from Finland, 160.
Michael Davis, 197.5 bars loaded platform.
Here he comes, he's fired up, slapping his thighs.
Now he missed this on his opening lift. He got a re-rack and had to reset.
Hopefully
Well, let's see if he sorted it out.
The adjustments that he needs to.
That's more like it.
Better.
And he gets 3 white lights and he's happy with that.
Good lift.
Harley Hamden from Norway looking at 162.5. And Hedlund from Sweden is looking at 200 for his second lift. That's a massive raw lift for this young man.
Absolutely. That's based upon his first attempt. I don't know that I would have personally taken that jump, but
It's a big jump at that weight. I mean, 10 kilos lower down the scale, probably a little bit more doable, but 190 to 200 is a very, very big jump. And if anyone watching this at home has never held 200 kilos in their hands above their head, really only one word to describe it, and that is heavy.
absolutely.
And Ali puts in a bit of work there, but he gets it up.
Similar thing that I was talking about earlier. He pressed it a little bit too straight for my taste for the length of a bench stroke that he has. He might need to get his elbows under the bar a little bit
Yeah, you really
quicker.
want that bar path to travel a little bit back toward the rack.
Correct. That probably was why it was work. Got 175 from our lifter from Singapore.
Can Kwan Tan 175. So it's a 10 kilo jump. But he did make short work of his opener.
Absolutely. This should be no problem based upon his last one.
Yeah, and it's hard to say from out here. I mean, they might open exceptionally low to ensure they get that on the board.
There is some
Then
sort
take
of
the 10 for the second one.
variation when it comes to it.
And no problems with that weight at all.
Absolutely no problem.
3 white lights. Sami Lehtinen from Finland, 175, and he's just out the back getting himself ready to come out, getting everything right. His opening lift wasn't super fast. He's not coming
comes back and makes it look
absolutely
like a
smashes that.
compared to his opener.
Wow, 175. Clearly the opener was too light for him.
Must not be his game. That happened on his squats as well. He came back and made his
Yeah, he was slow on his first one. His second one was great. Jaroslav Nemec, Czechia, 182.5. Very, very big lift for a young man. And he handles it like a true professional.
Easy, easy.
3 white lights. Gustav Hedlund from Sweden with a whopping 200 kilograms.
Already our front runner. Honestly, it looks to be already our gold medalist in the bench press as well, based upon the entries. So long as he gets this, he should put the nail in the coffin on that front.
Holy crap. This guy is benching 200 kilos.
200 kilograms for a junior 93 kilo lifter.
I'm just checking out the opposite platform, and that is a big lift for the next weight class up. So this is huge. Oh, and it's a fight,
wow,
but
here we
looks
go.
like a good lift.
He gets it up. He gets 2 white lights, which is enough to put it on the board. And the red light there, probably just a bit of a butt lift or maybe his foot.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll see lifters' feet slide just because of how hard they're trying to drive through their legs.
Jacob McKinnon from New Zealand, 147.5. The 5 kilo increase. His second lift was very quick.
Come on, Angus, let him hear you, Angus. That's right. Let him hear you, Angus.
And here Angus, the New Zealand coach, cheering on one of his lifters.
The New Zealand team is another team. The coach has been doing a fantastic job this week.
Beautiful.
Great lift selections. They've really matured as a team.
I agree.
And he gets a good lift. Dylan Lopez from Brazil, he wants 147.5 as well.
5 kilo jump compared to his last one. He made me look like an idiot on his second, saying it was probably going to be hard, and he absolutely smoked it, so I'm never going to doubt him again.
Yeah, I think they do that to us on purpose.
It might be. It might be the case. And based upon his nomination, this should be a 2.5 kilo PR for him. Let's see what he's got for the day.
That's a nice way to finish your bench press at the World Championships, isn't it?
Always. That's a big thing for a lot of these lifters. Very nice.
Wow, that was a pretty good 147.5 for a third lift.
I agree. Yeah, for a lot of these lifters, that they might come here and they might realize they might not be super competitive, but it still is the World Championships, and to be able to come out and have a wonderful performance and hit some PRs on the world stage is nothing to shake a stick at, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, just being here and getting to a World Championships, you're a champion. James Beckington, he wants 147.5 as well. Seems to be a popular number today.
Yes, it does. I think this is the last of them, though. Then we're taking the bar up to 150 after this. We'll see if our...
And Headland's put in 205 for his last lift. We'll see if he actually comes out and takes that.
We will see. That'll be a lift. Oh, come on, fight.
Gets to a sticking point. Did the bar drop at all, though?
Yeah.
And it did. A little bit of bar drop there.
Two reds.
And gets 2 red lights.
Unfortunately.
Yutetsu Ito from Japan, 150 kilograms.
Cameron saved it up for a big pull. That's what's going on.
You see that internally rotated grip that is market of a Japanese bench press. A nice self handout, a little shaky.
A little bit of work there, but handles it well.
Makes it look good.
And you were saying before about the rotation of the wrist, getting the arm under the bar a little bit more. Maybe you could talk the audience through that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So oftentimes if your wrist is a little bit too straight, what will end up happening is your elbow will sort of tuck in front of your wrist. When you, especially when you take a wide grip, if you internally rotate it, whenever you're lowering the bar towards your chest, it just automatically, because of the internal rotation, stacks the joints over each other. Therefore, it gives you a little bit more power. Because if your elbow is not under the bar, it's just hard to press the weight back.
Furukawa from Japan, 150. And he has handled that well.
Makes it look easy.
Pretty happy with that lift.
Yeah, very, very happy. I've noticed the Japanese lifters are always quite vocal when they succeed at a lift. It's always nice to see that.
Ajawali, Great Britain, 152.5. Yeah, I think when you're at a world championship and you hit a successful lift, you should be a little bit happy and vocal about that.
That's very true. You'll see all kinds of different things when it comes to lifters. Some of them will be ridiculously stoic. Others will be over the moon, practically leaping over the bar.
152.5.
There's actually a gentleman in the Masters earlier this week that did a Russian folk dance after his final deadlift.
Very nicely done.
He's a lifter from Colorado.
And he wasn't Russian.
No, but he was trained in Russian folk dance from what I understand.
There you go.
Yeah.
But he pushes it back to the top. And he gets 3 white lights.
Little bit of a misgroove there. Seemed like he turned his
got a
wrist
little bit out of line there. The bar actually moved a little bit. It takes a very mature lifter to actually recognise that partway through a lift and fix it.
Yes, absolutely.
Jani Mattila from Finland, 165.
This is our lifter who missed his opener and then made some great adjustments on the second. We'll see what 5 kilos does for his third. Now to me, his rack height looks like it might be a little bit higher, and that might solve that.
It's a little bit tough to get it out, doesn't it?
Oh, a little bit of an uneven lockout.
Oh, I don't know who's managed to lock that out either.
Yeah?
Gets 2 white lights though.
Yeah, it looked like only the one side wasn't.
Ali Hamden from Norway, 170. The numbers are popping up now.
The bar is loaded for Ali Hamden from Norway, and the bar is loaded for Zalsho Kolak.
This is a 7.5 kilo increase for him. Really digs his feet into the ground by getting up on his tippy toes first. And I believe he's going to wait until just before. Yeah, you'll see that happen often. A lot of lifters will wait to put their heels down.
Little bit too much. Good job from the spotters there though.
Yeah, way to stay with the bar on that one, man.
Sami Lehtinen from Finland, a whopping 180 kilograms. So he'll take home the bronze medal in the deadlift.
Bench press. Little ahead
Did
of
I say
yourself.
deadlift?
Yeah, a little ahead of yourself there.
We'll go with bench press. It's a very funny looking deadlift.
Yeah? If you're
It's just a new sport we're working on.
yeah.
Sami the Viking Lehtinen from Finland.
Comes out absolutely hyped for this lift.
180. Wow, that was a great lift. 3 white lights, he handled that well.
Nice.
Tan Quan Tan from Singapore, 185.
Bar is loaded, but our lifter isn't quite up yet.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And here he comes, just casually walking out.
Based on his last one, I can understand this jump. It was pretty much a smoke show. I expect this to be a little bit harder, but shouldn't be too bad.
213.5 kilos. This is Rondell Hunt.
It's a nice arch, digs himself in there. I can appreciate that as a fellow 93 kilo lifter, but still having a nice arch.
He's one of the few lifters today benching without wrist strap.
Oh, gets a little forward on it. Yeah, no.
Just loses his line, and Spotters do a great job of grabbing that.
That wrist wrap might have helped him.
It might have made a difference.
Seemed like he curled his wrists a little bit on that, and that's why he missed.
Zarislav Nemec from Czechia, 187.5. And he'll take home the silver medal for the bench press.
That'll be nice. His prognosis is also on 3rd currently, so that's always good. Added some kilos to his total. Already our 2nd place medalist. A little shaky on this. Yeah, just a little bit too up off of the chest.
Yeah, he never really looked good from the start on that one, did he?
Yeah, if there's one thing lifters can definitely take away from this session is that we just need to make sure we're practicing getting our elbows under the bar quickly, pressing backwards.
And we have a world junior record attempt by Gustav Hedlund, 205, and that would explain why he didn't take his 3rd squat, conserving some energy for this very moment.
Now the current record, I'm not sure what it is. I would imagine if he's going 205, he must either be very confident in that 5 kilo jump or the record's 204.5.
And here he goes, 205 kilograms for a monster bench press and a world record.
And if he makes this would have gotten him 3rd in the next class up.
And it's just a little bit too much for him.
I hope that 204.5 was the record, because if he could have just chipped it, gone a little bit lower, that may have been there.
And that was our last lifter in the bench press, and it's getting some exciting action here. We're going to come back in 20 minutes, and Joe will join us again, and we'll go through the deadlifts for the final session today. Welcome back to the 2018 IPF Classic Powerlifting World Championships in Calgary, Canada, and I'm here with one of the great American coaches who have been absolutely outstanding this week, and we are looking to see this finish out here in the 93 kilo juniors with the deadlift kicking off. What do you make of this battle?
So, far and away, the lifter from Sweden is, as long as he hits his opener, it's going to be pretty much over for him. He'll be on an 815 kilo, which is over 100 kilos compared to the current second place lifter. But we do look to have a battle between the second, third, and fourth currently.
Dylan Lopez is our first lifter from Brazil, looking at 220 kilograms.
He's had a little bit of a mixed bag of a day. Hopefully he can put it together on deads.
Should get the 3 white lights on that one.
Nice strong start. There is only one command in the deadlift. It is down. All you got to do is just hold on until that ref gives you the down command, and you are good.
Jacob McKinnon from New Zealand, 240 kilograms.
Jake Karen, that's all the talk off the bar. Bars loaded,
And the spotters and loaders flying through it again.
Yeah, McKinnon is nominated on 255. I have seen a 260 pull in my scouting, so hopefully he'll be able to do that here on the platform. See a nice double overhand hook grip and a nice little hip pump to get the bar moving. Very smooth.
Yeah, certainly if you can master that hook grip, it's certainly puts you in a great biomechanical position to pull that bar. But it is absolute murder on the thumbs.
It is a lot harder too. Hook grip, it was predominantly, well, I shouldn't say it was, it is predominantly used in weightlifting, and the bar is a lot thinner than a power bar that we use here in competition, so it can be a little bit harder to hold.
Yeah, I mean, you get people like me whose hands are these short, stumpy things. Just can't quite get the thumbs all the way around to reach.
I actually picked this little trick up from my friend. I'll hold the bar in the ends of my fingertips, and it'll slightly shorten the range of motion. So when you see me pull, I'll actually kind of it'll almost look like I'm not holding the bar completely. If you can master that trick, it's cool because it does shorten the range of motion.
For those watching at home, there's a little trick for you from one of the great coaches here.
Gotta give a shout out to my man Chance for that one.
Yutetsu Ito from Japan, looking at 250. Quite a wide stance for a conventional lift.
Yeah, I agree. Smooth pull, belt pops out just slightly.
Yeah, that's something he probably wants to watch too. He doesn't want that popping out and interfering with his lift.
Agreed.
Jani Mattila from Finland, 260 kilograms. We're getting up to the big numbers now.
And he comes out with knee sleeves on. Interesting.
Yeah, we're seeing it a little bit more and more probably over the last year or so, I think.
So I'm personally not a fan of it. I often find that the bar ends up catching on the end of the knee sleeve. So
yeah, I think that can be one of the biggest problems with knee sleeves, is that they do have a tendency to get in their own.
Yeah, the reason that, from what I've been told, the reason that lifters do that though is because it helps hide the fact that their knees might be slightly soft.
Yeah, and I do know of a few athletes that actually do that for that reason.
Yeah.
Ali Hamden from Norway, 265. Yeah, with the knee sleeves and the deadlift, do you see any biomechanical advantage of wearing them, other than hiding soft knees?
Not really. I feel like it just doesn't, the sleeve doesn't compress enough to really help you. I especially wouldn't recommend it in a conventional deadlift. I could see some justification for it in the sumo, in terms of maybe it aiding a little bit, just because of the extra quad work that comes into play with the sumo. But Oh, no.
Wow, he struggled to get that off the floor. He looks a little shocked there.
Yeah.
James Frecklington from Australia, 265. I've been looking forward to watching this guy deadlift. He's got long limbs and long arms, and he just looks like he's built for a conventional deadlift. He'll probably come out in sumo and make a fool out of me now.
And oh. You can breathe a sigh of relief. It looks like you are correct.
And yeah, it's interesting. Given his long legs, I thought his feet would be a little closer together than that.
Good strong base of support.
Gets the 3 white lights.
Actually shakes his head a little bit. Looks like he might be a little disappointed with it.
Jaroslav Niemek from Czechia looking at 270.
I've noticed it slightly, but you really seem to like saying the word Czechia.
Well, you know, I do like the Eastern European country names. That's a great ring of Czechia, Russia,
yeah, it goes,
Belarus.
Goes well with the accent.
And he gets his lift. Jun Furukawa from Japan, 272.5. Wow, these guys aren't going to get much rest between rounds. Their spotters and loaders are flying through these.
Again, you can hear the Japanese team being extremely vocal. They usually are. You look to see, I observed this when I was commentating the 74s yesterday. I've noticed a lot of the Oceania and Asian regions tend to use a lot of deadlift slippers, whereas the European and North American countries tend to favor more of a flat wrestling shoe.
Yeah, the deadlift slippers are quite common throughout the Asian Pacific there. Some of the Australian lifters are starting to become a little bit more common. I'm not a huge fan of them. I mean, I do actually understand why they're wearing the principle behind them. I just find there's a little bit too much movement in them. And he gets 3 white lights. Ajawali from Great Britain looking for 280.
As a sumo puller, I'm more of a fan of the flatter wrestling shoe. It has a little bit of lateral support.
Yeah, you want something that's going to really stay solid around your foot, but yeah, also lateral support as well.
Yeah, just generally, when you're pulling sumo, you want to be. The cue that I often use is spread the floor. And that usually ends up putting a lot of lateral force on your feet. But if you're not careful, you can end up slipping because you're putting so much force into your feet with such a wide stance. So having some lateral support is really helpful.
Just getting the bar cleaned up. Ojawali is out now for 280. Another gentleman that's really built to deadlift.
Hear his teammates behind us cheering him on.
And he's absolutely smashed that, hasn't he?
Yeah. One of the great things about powerlifting, even though it is an individual sport here at the IPF level, you get to bring teammates with you, your own personal cheering section.
Oh, always. Well, it's great to have your own cheer squad.
Oh yeah, always helpful on meet day.
Sami Lehtinen from Finland, 285. Got that Titan flame suit. Let's hope he's on fire.
Will his deadlift be fire? That is the question. He's got some rather large quads, so I'm gonna say yes.
Yes, he does have a couple of tree trunks growing out of his body.
And yes.
And yes.
Really nice.
Sammy the Viking hits the 285.
So that was our first player in the battle for second place. Making a statement there.
Gustav Hedlund, 315 kilos. That's a monstrous opening lift. And an interesting choice because he doesn't need to open with 315 to maintain his lead.
That is absolutely true.
Well, let's hope they haven't overreached on his opening lift.
Well, it shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully the coaching staff has made the smart choice.
Give her the rest of his lift, 315. Should be well within reach.
See him setting up sumo. I like the fact that he's not exactly on the bar. Ooh, but it actually looks like he didn't end up getting it. Ooh. And we see that head being thrown back, which is a trick we often see some of the Russian lifters do. I've been told from talking to them that they think it helps them get their chest through a little bit better, really sit back into it.
Yeah, we teach a lot of our athletes to really have that head up right from the start to help lift that chest up, brings the hips through.
So yeah, so like I was saying, though, one thing I think that a lot of lifters do wrong is they get a little bit too close when it comes to the sumo deadlift, and they end up almost being too far over the bar. So stepping just a little bit back so that their shins meet the bar exactly. That's exactly what you want to be doing.
There you go. So everyone watching at home is just starting in powerlifting. You are tapping into some of the best advice you can ever tap into. Dylan Lopez from Brazil for his second attempt, 235.
This opener looked pretty good. Hopefully this will be just as smooth. Ooh, it's a little bit more of a fight.
A lot of work off the floor on that one.
So that was a 15-kilo jump. Maybe
it moved a little bit slower than he was expecting.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit too much of a jump there. We'll see where he goes on the third.
Jacob McKinnon from New Zealand, 252.5.
His opener looked pretty good, 12.5 kilo increase. Seems like a good choice for him. Another hook grip puller. You can see that there's a revolution of medical tape around his wrists to help make it easier. Little tough at the end there.
A little harder than the lockout. And athletes doing hook grip are actually allowed to tape their thumbs with a piece of medical tape.
Just because that hurts a lot.
A lot.
That helps with the pain a little bit.
Kang Kwan Tan from Singapore wants 265. A 20-kilo increase.
Singapore 265. Nico Nurmi 302.5 666. Bars loaded Nico 666. Number to be strong carvers on his feet.
Wow, this is a 20-kilo jump.
It's a big jump on a
massive jump.
You're on a highway.
Gets it to the top
Not too
and handles
difficult
it.
either. Looked like about like a second attempt.
Ali Hamden from Norway, 265. Now he missed this on his opening lift.
And it looked to be on strength too. Absolutely
Just
stable
didn't move,
to the floor.
did it? If it was technique, you'd imagine it would have moved a little bit, but it just looked like it was super glued down.
Yeah, we really hope that it was just something. Just
hope he missed time to pull, or
we never want to see anyone bomb.
not.
Especially to come all this way from Norway.
Time on one.
Just doesn't want to budge, does it? Looks like they may have just overestimated that opening lift. Maybe not taking into account the travel, not taking into account the whole day of lifting.
I agree. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of
Just
people
looks like he's spent.
Yeah. He did have a tough time with that last squat, so he's just a little taxed from it.
Jani Mattila from Finland wants 270. That's a tough second lift.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot more in the tank. There is a.
Yeah, he got a little caught there on the knee sleeves, just like I said. He seemed pretty amped about it though, so who knows? Maybe he's one of those lifters that turns the gas on his third attempt.
Yutetsu Ito from Japan, 280 kilograms. So our gold medal is pretty much in place. The headline for Sweden definitely going to be taking away the gold medal, the World Championship. Yutetsu from Japan wants 280. He looks pretty pumped.
I love how all the Japanese lifters take their time before their lifts, really get set.
Yeah, that was a little bit too tough for him.
That was a 30-kilo jump.
That's a huge jump.
I don't know what in the world he was thinking on that one.
Jaroslav Nemec from Czechia wants 282.5.
Ray Williams doesn't make those kind of jumps.
That's a huge jump, 30 kilos.
Yeah, that's just nuts. All right, our lifter here from Czechia. Oh, that is fun to say.
It is, isn't it? See?
Oh, and he is
I knew it would
hyped.
catch on. And he's got that. Oh, he just can't get the lockout. The bar just travels forward a little bit, throws him off balance. He tried so hard to pull it back.
Yeah, so something that often happens when lifters miss at the top like that, especially sumo lifters, what happens is that lifters will get used to having their butt tucked under them. That happens because typically sumo is harder off of the floor. So by having your glutes artificially closer to the bar, it makes it easier to break the bar from the floor. The problem is, though, is that makes your glutes finish firing early in the lift. So you can't finish as easily. So oftentimes when people miss just because of miss at the top, it's not because they're weak at the top, it's because of their start position.
James Frecklington gets 3 white lights of 282.5. Yun Furukawa from Japan wants 287.5. The crowd is going crazy here this afternoon.
That would be Michael Davis's crowd from the USA. His whole family is here.
And Jude casually walks out and then starts to get vocal as he walks on the platform.
Getting nice and set. He's in the running for the medals right now. Currently sitting in 5th in the deadlift and 3rd overall.
That's important for him to put these lifts on there to defend that bronze medal. And he's not far off pegging down the 2nd place there either.
Yeah, we'll see if he makes a jockey for that position. But first he's got to make this lift.
Just can't quite hang on to the bar. If you ever let a Alico bar slip out of your hands like that, you know it hurts.
Yeah, that's never fun. Hopefully he didn't tear anything.
That has got some tough knurling on it, the Alicos.
Yeah, especially considering it's a brand new bar. We thank Alico for supplying these championships with a brand new set of equipment.
And if you've ever had a chance, ever get the chance to lift on an Alico bar, particularly in a deadlift, compare it to a normal gym bar and you will see how much better it is to lift on such a stiff bar.
I agree. I'm fortunate enough to own one myself. It's fun to use, but also not very fun at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, a novice lifter can easily add 10 or 15 kilos to their deadlift just by getting an Alico bar. The difference is amazing.
And the Finn does well to add 10 kilos to his total,
That's a nice
keeping that
lift.
2nd place just slightly out of reach.
Ojawali looking for 302.
So we've got currently the lifters sitting in 3rd and 4th are tied on the total. We got the Finnish lifter on 720 currently. And of course our Swedish lifter way out
Way in front. A good 100 kilos plus out in front. You know, it's tough. On any given competition, a 735 or 750 is enough to win and blow away the competition, but an 830, that's just absolutely fantastic.
Wow.
That was a great lift.
Absolutely making the number of the beast look like the number of the child.
302, didn't he? Gustav Hedlund is going for 330 kilograms. He wants the world junior total record.
This is the big one.
Like you said earlier, the only number that matters at the end is the total.
Yeah. Now I don't know. Based on his first, I don't know that I would have gone 15 kilos from first to second. I would have waited until especially since he has nothing to lose, I would have waited until the third attempt.
Yeah, it's certainly a big jump, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, could have quite easily gone to 220, 222 and a half.
Yeah, we'll see.
Added a bit more to the total and then sort of judged whether the 330 was actually there.
And Gino just commenting how far ahead he is.
330 kilograms. This is for the world junior total record.
Oh, and it's work, but he finishes it.
Has a bit of a nod at the top to say thank you very much. And he gets to 330 and he gets the world total record. He already has the gold medal. He is the world champion. I want to see what he puts on next.
Yeah, we'll see what he puts on.
Because there's not much left in that tank, I don't think.
And honestly, 830 would be a competitive total in the opens.
That is a huge total.
All right,
if you think you've got a 730 total, you think you're in a good shot of winning a gold medal. And someone like him comes along from Sweden and hits an 830 total, that's huge.
I'm just proud that my 700 kilo total would be somewhat competitive.
Dylan Lopez coming out for his third attempt at 242.5.
So he had some trouble on his last one. A little bit slow. We'll see what 7.5 kilos does.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot left in the tank. And I'm wondering if 7.5 might just be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And it is a little bit too much for him.
Just a bit too much.
Probably could have gotten away with just adding a couple of kilos on that one. Jacob McKinnon from New Zealand looking for 260. That's another 7.5 kilo increase, so we'll see about how he goes. He handled his second lift quite well though. These are third attempts, so the bar has to be cleaned between each lift. We're going to make sure every lifter has the best opportunity. And he's managed to get that to the top and lock it out. Ali Hamden from Norway wants 265. And if you're streaming both platforms, there are some monster lifts happening on platform 1 as well.
Yeah, I do have to say it's a little bit distracting, but
looks like Trinidad and Tobago are going for a 353.5 for a world record.
That will actually break the open world record total at 105.
These junior lifters are absolutely outstanding this year. I don't think we've seen quite this level of junior lifters in the IPF World Championships before. I mean, the quality of lifters is always incredible, but this year just seems to be absolutely outstanding.
For sure. All right, our Norwegian lifter really needs this.
He's failed his first 2 attempts, he just couldn't get them off the ground. And it just won't move for him. What a disappointing end for his competition.
Yeah, that's a shame. Not sure what happened there.
None of us want to see that happen to anyone.
Perhaps maybe he just wasn't feeling good and they didn't have enough time to change his opener.
Yeah, we're not sure when he flew in either. I mean, it's a lot of jet lag involved in coming from these countries. Yeah, he might have only flown in a couple of days ago, and generally isn't enough time to get over that sort of jet lag.
Absolutely.
And it really does take its toll. Kang Kwan Tan from Singapore wants 275. He's putting on a 10 kilo jump for his last lift.
His last one looked pretty good, so this should be...
He's been pretty clinical all the way through.
Yeah, I really admire this guy's form on all of his lifts.
That's a little bit too much.
Yeah, a little bit too much today.
You know, these guys are getting to the end of the day. It's actually a tough day after the evening session. They have an afternoon weigh-in, which makes it tough sometimes.
Yeah.
They've been lifting for a while now and putting up some big lifts. It takes its toll on the body. Sometimes you just overestimate that last lift.
For a lot of them, I'm sure this is not even close to the time that they normally lift in the day, especially considering the time change.
The 7 p.m. session's a tough one for them. Takes a lot to manage. Jani Mattila from Finland, 275. And he's moved it. And you did just see a drag across the knee sleeve there.
He moved that much better than I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean, he actually pulled it up quite fast.
Yeah.
Tetsu Ito from Japan, he's going to have another shot at that 280 that he couldn't quite get before.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if he didn't come out for this one, but we shall see. Like I said, a 30 kilo jump. That's just astronomical.
That is a huge jump, isn't it?
Perhaps he's just done this in training and decided he wanted to open wide. I don't know.
A little bit too much for him. Jaroslav Nemec from Czechia, 287.5. Got 287.5.
You can see that on all these third attempts, the spotters and loaders are taking their time to clean the bar. Make sure that all the lifters have a nice clean bar to pull from. No baby powder, no chalk.
Now, interestingly, Jaroslav missed his 282.5 and he's going up to 287.
Looks like he's jockeying for a position. Oh, and he might have it.
I don't think he's going
on the bar.
Looks like he dipped that down. But he didn't quite get there.
And he knew it.
Just looking to try and sneak in there.
Unfortunate.
It's certainly worth a try. Yun Furukawa from Japan wants 290.
Not to shy any of our viewers on this stream away, but over on the other platform, we have Rondell Hunt going for an open world record total as a junior. Pop over there, take a look, and maybe come back to us.
290 for Jun Furukawa from Japan. And these guys are giving the bar a really good clean.
World record, his name is Rondell Hunt. The bar is loaded. Give him a round of applause.
Here comes Jun Furukawa from Japan, 290.
Great setup. Super patient here. It should secure him the bronze if he gets it.
really takes his time, doesn't he?
Give him a round of applause.
Oh, beautiful. Much better than his lift that he missed.
Very nice lift. Gets the 3 white lights.
All right, so that'll be good to put him into second place temporarily.
So James Frecklington from Australia, he wants 295.
Looks like perhaps the third place lifter might be submitting a change. Yeah, the Finnish lifters put in a change to go up to, or no, excuse me. My mistake. Here comes our Australian lifter.
295, this is a big lift.
Just a little bit too much today.
much for him today.
Being a great sportsman though, and shaking all the judges' hands.
Yeah, look, I think that's important. I mean, these sports don't have it, these guys, and these referees are judges up here. I mean, they're all volunteers. None of these guys get paid. Some of them pay their own way here as well.
Absolutely, just completely volunteering their time and giving back to the sport they love.
Yeah, and I think the athletes should always take the time to thank them for their efforts.
That's a good time to bring up. If you have the chance to volunteer to meet locally and help out the sport, it's always great. Take your referee tests.
Yeah, this sport runs on volunteers. I mean, we need all the help we can get.
Yeah.
Sami Lehtinen from Finland, 300 kilograms. Looking to secure a silver medal.
And it looks like
wow,
he has it.
I think that was actually quicker than his 295.
Yeah, ridiculous.
He gets the 3 white lights.
So that should put him securely.
Puts him up into second place.
Yeah, it looks like unless they submit a change.
Kurakawa makes a change to take a run for it.
I don't see why he wouldn't. His 302 looked amazingly easy. I would go for it. Looks like they haven't submitted it, so it seems as if he's settling for 4th place, but it will be a silver in the deadlift.
Ojawale from Great Britain looking at 310. And Hedlund has put in a 350 for his 3rd lift.
Why not?
Got nothing to lose.
Oh, he is excited. Look at him, he's all
smiling from ear to ear. He might just have enough hype in the tank to get this. His last lift looked great. And it looks good.
What a pull. Excellent attempt selection by the British coaches. Wow, here we go.
He's just about to bust it again, the world record.
That's the guy that pulls the deadlift 390 kilos. Now Hedlund is no longer near that. He only pulled 350 up here. He's looking to pull 350. 40 kilos away from the deadlift world record. However,
so Gustav Hedlund looking for 350 to break his already world record for the total. He's looking for the open world record.
2 times now, Junior's attempting open world record totals. This is the pinnacle of the sport. You cannot get better than this.
Just beat the world record total. Now he's going to try and beat it again and say to the old record holder, come and get it.
Yeah. He's already our gold medalist. Take a crack at it. Why not?
Nothing to lose.
Yeah,
just a little too much.
Too much. Oh, well, exciting regardless.
Well, what a way to finish. We've had some ups and downs. Our gold medalist, Hedlund. Our silver medalist from Finland, sorry, Lehtinen, and our bronze medalist from Japan, Furukawa, and Headland 105 kilograms ahead of the pack.
Absolutely.
Wow,
insane.
what a way to finish. Joe, thank you so much for joining us in the box. Hopefully we'll hear from you again.
Lapidat tells me I might get to do the Open 105, so
Fantastic.
we'll see what happens.
And we will see everyone tomorrow morning for more action at the 2018 IPF Classic Powerlifting World Championship in Calgary, Canada.
Robert Crawford, bring him on out. Give them a round of applause. Gentlemen, handing out the medals in this session, three distinguished individuals. Round of applause for Heather Layton from Republic of South Africa. Give her a round of applause. Rock Haven from Canada, he gets a round of applause. And President of the Swedish Powerlifting Federation, Joni Wiklund. All right, let's go to our first category, 93 kilo weight class, junior category in the squat. The bronze medal winner, hailing from New Zealand. Big round of applause for Jacob McKinnon. Silver medal winner from Japan, Yun Furukawa. And the gold medal winner from Sweden, Gustav Hedlund.
All right, boys. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. You may step back now. Let's move on to the bench press. Bronze medal winner hailing from Finland, Sami Leittonen. Silver medal winner from the Czech Republic, Yaroslav Nemec. Gold medal winner from Sweden, Gustav Hedlund. Photos.
1, 2, 3. There you guys.
On to the deadlift now. Bronze medal winner, Finland, Sami Leittonen. Silver medal winner, Great Britain, Adedabo Jawali. And the gold medal winner hailing from Sweden, Gustav Hedlund. Photos.
All right, boys. 1, 2, 3.
Let's move on to the total category now. Bronze medal winner, Japan, Jun Furukawa. Silver medal winner, Finland, Sami Leittonen. Gold medal winner, Sweden, Gustav Hedlund. Please stand, ladies and gentlemen, for the Swedish national anthem. Big round of applause for all of our winners. All right, Robert Crawford, we're going to get some exit music, George, and Robert Crawford is going to have all the gentlemen go this way, right around the front, and the audience will give them a continuous round of applause. Take them around, Robert. Please line up. 105, please line up in the staging area for your medals presentation. Thank you. Yes, Robert? Oh, are they there? All right, George, music please, George. Bring them on out, Robert. Kilo weight class junior category in the squat, the bronze medal winner, Canada, Luke Tremblay. Silver medal winner, Canada, Cameron St. Armand. And the gold medal winner, Trinidad, Rondell Hunt.
Yeah, Rondell!
Trinidad and Tobago.
One, two, three. I got you, man. 1, 2, 3.
Bench press. Bronze medal winner for Tajikistan, Alzalso Kola, Tajikistan. Silver medal great fit, Callum Crozier. And the gold medal winner with a new world record. Big round of applause for Rondell Hunt.
Yeah, Rondell! All right, boys.
Here we go, photos.
1, 2, 3. That's me.
Thank you, gentlemen. You may step back now. On to the deadlift. Now, bronze medal winner, United States of America, Michael Davis. Silver medal winner, Algeria, Zachariah Mufak. And the gold medal winner from Trinidad and Tobago, Rondell Hunt. Photos.
All right, boys. 1, 2, 3.
Let's move on to our total category now. In the bronze medal position, hailing from Canada, Luke Tremblay. silver medal winner, USA, Michael Davis. And the gold medal winner, hailing from Trinidad and Tobago, Rondell Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for Trinidad and Tobago National Anthem. Thank you, gentlemen. You may step back now. Some exit music, George. Please give all our lifters a big round of applause as they get escorted off the platform.